Hello YouTube, it's me Red Lunarian, and I present to you my first video on my Darwell deck. First of all, I apologize for the quality of this video because I was trying to record on my iPhone, but for some reason it doesn't store enough memory to record this video. So I will be using my Nintendo 3DS to record this. I apologize for the inconvenience. So let's get started. Let's start with Grafa, the boss monster of the deck. You should definitely always run 3 of this. When you discard it, you pop a card on the field. This card is pretty good against evil swarms as they don't I don't know, I just say it's good. It's probably the only reason I run it. Or the only reason it still has a chance to fight evil swarms. Oh, and also your opponent cannot prevent its summoning condition if he has Shadow Imprisoning Mirror or what is it? No, it's Soul Drain. Yes, Soul Drain or Shadow Imprisoning Mirror too. Because this card, its effect that it spells someone from the graveyard doesn't start a chain. So if your opponent has that card and says that you can special summon it, they are totally wrong. You can special summon this card because its effect that it special summon is a summoning condition. It doesn't start a chain. So let's go with the other set. I run triples now, the search engine of the deck. When combined with gates it gets good attack, but I pretty much use it to search for all my other Darwell cards, so this card is pretty much going to the graveyard and not on the field. I rarely use it for attack, so yeah, pretty much. I run triple brow, the draw engine for the deck. You should always definitely run 3 of these, the same with Snow and, like I said, Grafa. If you discard this card, you draw another card. This card is pretty good with gates, card destruction, and not really Darwell dealings, but if you want, you can discard and get another card of it. But this card is also good with drag down. But this card is definitely good with card destruction. If you get like a set of 3 and then card destruction, you discard this card and you have 6 cards after the effects resolve. So this card is pretty good and it's a target for Torgai. Then of course double Torgai because it's limited. It allows for rank 3 exit summoning such as Leviar or Golem. I show my extra deck in a second. I probably have to do a second part of this video since I can only record 10 minutes of this. So let's continue, and I run 1 beige. I use it to special summon Grafa, discard, special, then bounce back and get your Grafa. And if you have another Grafa, and if you have of course if you have another way to discard this card, then special and return it, and then you have like 2 Grafas. So pretty much I use it for that, or for level 4 rank exit summon. But I rarely even use my rank 4 monsters, but I just have them there. So and double Silva. I was running 3 of these, but it becomes stuck on my hand when I don't have the discard outlets. So I decided to put it at 2. This card has a good attack, target for Eradicator, and of course deck devastation virus. You can also use it for level 5 exit summoning. Pretty much. And here my other card, 1 Fable Raven. This is just like card destruction, except that it's a monster. You can use it for level 5 X's or level 4 X's. Of course, you shall always definitely attack with this card before you even attempt to do an X's summon. Or unless you need the X's monster, then do the X's summon first. But I don't run any. I don't even use this card for tuning, so I pretty much use its effect to do exit summon or to discard cards from my hand to activate their effects. But this card is good. You should definitely at least run one this card of this card. And then my last monster, Trans Archfiend. I used to run two of these cards, but I think one is still okay because you don't pretty much use its effect. Well, you really use its effect so that's the point that I'm running this card. So it will be useless not to run this card. But I run it at one. It's just my preference. So yep, those are all my monsters. And now let's get with spells. Triple gates. Pretty much a discard outlet. The best discard outlet that you have in this deck. It's of course a field, increases the attack of my fiend type monsters, which of course all of them are fiend, except for some of my Xyz monsters, which I rarely use anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Of course you should definitely always run 3 of this. Basically you banish one monster, discard one card, and then draw one card. Yeah. You can combine this card with Brow, Snow, or Grapha. Although you can still use it for the other Darwell effects, but I always use it for Brow or Snow, on some occasions Grapha. No, not occasions. I always use it for Grapha, of course. Who wouldn't use that card? That card is so fucking amazing. Then I roll triple dealings. Of course you shall always run 3 of this. Discard outlet. Draw one card, scam one card. I can't really say anything much about it. This card is better than dealings. You can see your opponent's scan, discard one card, then draw another card, and discard your cards too. So this card goes well with this deck. You should definitely run 3 of this, no matter what. And you can combine it with Mind Crush activated and discard cards that you saw that your opponent has. And it's also good to know which card declare when you activate Eradicator, or to know if your opponent has monster with 15 or less attack when you want to activate Deck Devastation Virus. You should always definitely run 3 of this. One Dark Hole. And about Heavy Storm, I have it on my side deck with 3 Mystical Space Typhoons, because in this current metagame it's not. Well, I just have it on my side deck basically. I sided in on game 2 because it's obviously that my opponent is gonna use Macrocosmos or Dimensional Fissure against me unless he has a deck that depends on the graveyard. So that's why I don't have Heavy Storm. Then my other card Destruction. This card is pretty good. Not much about to say, just discard outlet. Gets to Darwell. This card is pretty much good on the battle phase or during my opponent's end of the turn. You can use this card to space summon any Darwell monster and bounce back from Grapha, or just summon Grapha when your opponent is about to do a direct attack and you don't have any monsters on the field. And it's good, but I just run one. Just run one. I want to really run two. Then one Monster Reborn. The same situation with gates, except that you can only activate it on your turn, but it doesn't limit your summoning. Special summon any Darwell monster if you already have Grapha in your graveyard, and then return it to your hand to get a plus of it. Well, not really a plus, but at least you don't get a minus. Allure of Darkness, draw cards, the draw power, another draw power. It's pretty much good. Banish. Okay, I'll be right back because my 10-minute span is about to end. Okay, so I'm back, And let's go with the traps. I run one eradicator. Just one. If I'm dueling against prophecies. Yeah. You can tribute Rafa or Silva if you have gates of the underworld. Select spell cards, or you can also use this card to get rid of your opponent's back row. Yeah, pretty much. I only run one, I don't know. I was thinking of running two, but I just sided out the other card, so... But it's not bad. This card is good. Yeah, it's good. A skull, a virus. What else is gonna be? Then I run one return from a different dimension. This card is great with this deck, especially when you use it with, especially when you have gates. You banish your Darwell cards, and with this card you can get them back to do Exit Summon, or just to get them for an OTK. I have my doubts on this card before, but now that I think about it, this card is really good. You should definitely run it if you are doing, of course, if you are running a Darwell deck. And especially if your opponent runs Macrocosmos or Dimensional Fissure. Yeah. You shouldn't really mind paying half your life points already, since this deck pretty much runs off life points anyways. And of course you should always run, well, this is my opinion, so, but these cards, I run double Solemn Warning and double, what the hell, well, it's just limited, so Solemn Warning and then Solemn Judgment. Self-explanatory to prevent a summon, gets Overgores, and this card also gets over Macrocosmos, since it has an effect to special summon a monster. I don't know the name of the card, so... But you can use this card to prevent Macrocosmos activation. Then Solemn Judgment, pay half your life points, negate special summon of a monster. No, not a special summon, the summon of a monster. But it doesn't negate... Well, this is basically negate the summon of a monster, the activation of a spell or trap card. But yeah, pretty much. Then I run Triple Compulse. You can do a lot of combos with this card, or just to use against E-Dragons to get rid of your Dracosac, or yeah, just Dracosac or Big Eye. Or you can use this card to bounce back your own Grapha to destroy another monster. But I rarely do that, so... But this card is still good though. I run a 3. Yeah, pretty much. Then one Dark Smoke. Just one. Just a discard outlet, banish one monster from my opponent's graveyard. Basically just for that. But this card is pretty good. I sided out 2 in case of a Darwell mirror match. I take out my dealings and put 2 Dark Smokes, since my opponent won't be discarding any cards like I will. But you should always keep drag down. But when you're in a mirror match against a Darwell deck, you should definitely take out the dealings and put discard. Well, it's just my opinion, so... This card is good though. Banish one monster and the discard, it's not a cost, so you get the effects of your Darwell monsters. And then you get a double skill drain. Yeah, I know this card is contradictory. How do you say it? Contradictory. I don't know how to say it, but whatever. I know this card doesn't work with these cards, but since I run, these are the only cards affected by it. But oh shit, not this one. Well, my other tour guide. But these cards are the only cards affected by it, and my X's monsters. But like I said, I rarely use my X's monsters. Although you can still get the effect of this card when it gets sent to the graveyard, so don't worry. But this card is good. This card is good. You should definitely run it on your main deck. Just negates the effect since most of the Dark World effects activate on the graveyard. And then activate this card, they don't get affected by it. Yeah, pretty much. Now let's go with my extra deck. I run one monster written, just a rank 3 Axis monster. I rarely use them. It becomes its arena attack doubles. It becomes 33 with gates. Can get rid of Ophion with this card, but I will instead use 10 tempo for that. Okay, so this card gets rid of my opponent's Axis materials, and it's good against Axis monster. Get 500. It gets 500, so it should be at 25 when it activates its effects. Yeah, it should be, since it's a fin-time monster, it gets a boost from gates. Kind of good. Not really that good. And my next Axis monster, Wind Up Sandmains. Just to stall your opponent. Not much to say. If your opponent attacks it, it doesn't get destroyed, and then you get to destroy one card if this card stays on the field during the end phase. I pretty much summon it when I get Torguide on the first turn. Summon it special. It's on the field, but since most of my opponents run Black Sheep of Corn or cards to get rid of this card, I rarely use them, so I wouldn't really use it that much. And then Leviar, this card is really good to get my Banish monsters. Use the Banish monster to return to my hand and spell summon Grapha. Basically I set for that, obviously. You should definitely run this card. 1 Giga Brilliant, self-explanatory. Leviathan Dragon, just 2000 beater, becomes a 25 beater. And then Acid Golem, a 3000 beater. Combine this card with Skill Drain when it has no Axis materials, and you can do good with it. Yeah. And now my rank force. I run one Lavalval Chain. It's pretty much yeah, just to get Grapha either on my graveyard or on top of my deck. I will use it if I have dealings. I will send it on the top of my deck, then dealings, get Grapha, discard Grapha, and you use destroy a card, or just send Grapha to the graveyard, return one Darwell monster you control, and you get Grapha with this card. It's pretty good, but so expensive for some reason. A staple card, Maestro, much like Sandmains, except that acts like a Book of Moon. Yeah, pretty much. One Utopia. I don't know, it's pretty much my level 4 ranked monster are pretty much situational, so not really much to say. You basically shall know what this card does. And for some reason I run this card, number 85, Crazy Box. I pretty much use it for the 3000 attack. When combined with Skill Drain, its attack restriction gets negated, so attack with this card. Yeah, pretty much. Its effects are good, but I wouldn't really use them. I just pretty much use it for the 3000 attack when I have Skill Drain. And this card is good. Number 61, Volcanosaurus. If your opponent has a Gorse, you attack with this card. Oh shit, never mind. But if your opponent had a Gorse and you had the level 5 Axis monster to summon this card, you can destroy Gorse with this card, and you deal a pretty good amount of damage with this card. I'll be right back because my 10-minute span is about to end. Okay, I'm back, and here's the rest of my extra deck. 1 Adrius, the Keeping of Armageddon. Not really good, but it's good when you have gates. It gets rid of one monster. Of course, level rank 5. I mean, not really as good as this card, but this card has a better attack than this card. But they have the same effect, except that this card doesn't. Except that this card can still attack when you activate its effect. So pretty much is situational which card to summon. And then my other card, Tyrus. Man, this card is so amazing. It's immune to destruction, to destroy. I mean, yeah, to destruction of from card effects. Good. Has 26 attack. Fairy. Might not be good with this deck, but this card is good in its own right. At the end phase, when I attack, I get to destroy one card that my opponent controls, and you don't have to discard an Xyz monster except during the end of the turn. So you can still use it for 2 turns. But once it's out of Xyz materials, this card is pretty much useless now. Well then, or no, whatever. But it becomes useless when it doesn't have Xyz material. So, and my last card. How do you even say it? Heretic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis. I just call it Heliopolis. Level 8 rank monster. When your opponent has back row, you can summon this card, I guess. It's just pretty much situational. Basically, what it does, you can read right here. It says, once per turn you can detach one Xyz material from this card, tribute any number of monsters from your hand or in your side of the field, minimum 1, then destroy an equal amount of cards on the field. Yeah, basically. And this card doesn't target, I think, does it? No, it doesn't target, so it's pretty good. Oh, but you should watch out for Starlight Road, so. But this card's pretty much situational. Just an Xyz summoning. Pretty much when you're about to end the game, you can use this card. Get rid of back row. I don't know, I guess. That's my extra deck. Like I said, I rarely use it, but it's just there just in case any event. And here's my extra deck. I have 2 Kaikus. I was planning to run Imperial Iron Wall, but either way, it's not really what I like. Because Imperial Iron Wall prevents my activation of Dark Smoke and gates to the Underworld. This card still prevents my opponent from banishing cards. Oh yeah, and I forgot to explain why is this card for. I use this card to prevent my opponent from banishing my graveyard monsters. And this card is good against E-Dragons, basically. I don't know. But I might still change it. I don't know, maybe Chaos Hunter, but I don't know, but this card, yeah, it's alright. Pretty much your side deck is up to your decision. Then, like I mentioned before, I had my triple MSCs on my heaviest term. Like I said, when you're on the second game, on the second game, use this side discard in if you think your opponent is gonna run Macrocosmos or Dimensional Fissure. This card helps you get over it. And yeah, pretty much. Then my other side cards are Mind Crush. I was running this card on my main deck, but on the current meta game this card is not really that good, but that doesn't mean this card is not good to use against other decks. It's good against Prophecies, I guess Evil Farms, but not good against E-Dragons. Man, that deck is so broken. But yeah, this card is still good, but I just ran on my side deck. Personal preference. Then another Eradicator. Double deck Devastation Viruses for wind-ups. I guess for What else? Evil Swarms for because they run Rabbit. No, Rescue Rabbit. Yeah, Rescue Rabbit against Machina Fortress or gadgets basically. Yeah, I already say one wind-ups. Well, pretty much for if your opponent has a lot of level 15 or less attack monsters. This card is good though, but it's pretty much for the side deck. Then two other Dark Smogs for the Dark World Mirror match. Take out dealings and put this card in. Yeah. Oh, and of course it's good against Dark Wolves itself. Yeah. And then two Mind Drain, since you don't really have a lot of... Well, since in my deck I don't have hand traps, I use this card. Oh yeah, and by the way, the reason I don't run hand traps is because sometimes they get stuck on my hand when I have drag down, and that pretty much hinders me. That's the reason I don't run Maxid or Effect Bailer, and I wouldn't run Draw and Lockburst because it also hinders me. Although you activate it on your opponent's turn, but hand traps really hinder me for some reason. Or they don't hinder me, but they make my plays slow. I know that hand traps are good. I know that Maxis in this format is good, but it's just my personal preference. But this card is good against a dragon since their effects. Oh shit! Oh shit! My DS just fell. Oh, but whatever. Yeah, this card is good against E-Dragons. And if your opponent runs a lot of hand traps, you can use this card. Yeah, pretty much. And that's about it. My Yu-Gi-Oh! Double Deck profile. I wanna hear your thoughts. Probably this video is not as good as any other Dark. I mean, this video is not as good as any deck profiles, because this is the first video, of course. So I apologize for any inconvenience in this video, aside that my DS fell because I was putting this card. I was putting this shit to hold my DS like this, so I wouldn't be, so I will be using my two hands. I apologize for my accent if you didn't understand, but English is not my first language, but that doesn't mean I'm trying to practice. But yeah, pretty much this is my profile. Personal preference. Of course everyone has a personal preference, but I wanna hear your thoughts about it. Yeah, thank you. Goodbye.